Want to know what the best gear you could use for flak is? Well, today we're going to be talking about that. If you only had one item to pick per category, which one would it be? Let's go ahead and talk about it. Asiva, this is LaserBolt, and welcome to today's video, guys. Today we're going to be talking about the best gear you could use on flak. But before we do, I have a question for you guys. What is your favorite weapon category for flak? Is it an assault rifle? Is it a rocket? Is it a pistol, shotgun, SMG? Let me know in the comment section down below. So I got to thinking, if I had to pick one item per category for flak, what would be the item that would be the best one for that particular category? And we went ahead, compiled a list of the best weapons, the best gear you could possibly use for flak. So if you don't have any of these, let me know which ones you're missing in the comment section down below, and I will include the save file with all these items so you can just download it on the PC. The link to my Discord is down in the description, so just head over there, go to our save section, and download the file now. In addition to that, guys, I have videos on all the items I'm going to be mentioning and where to locate them, so if you guys want to find out where to get them, the link is down below. I'm also going to tell you guys where you're going to be able to pick these up. So we're going to get started with the first thing, which is the assault rifle. And the assault rifle right here, it's kind of tricky because there are some pretty good assault rifles that you could pretty much use in the game, but the one that actually does a ton of damage is the Becca. Now, for those of you who did play Borderlands 2, you might remember this one because this was returning legendary weapon from the Borderlands 2 series, and it's as powerful as it was in Borderlands 2. As you guys know, I am a big fan of Jacobs, and not only am I a fan of Jacobs weapons, but also is flak, because flak does really good with Jacobs weapon. And what makes the Becca really amazing is that when you fire the weapon, the pellet will split into three and hit its target designation. At the right distance, this absolutely will destroy everything in your way, whether it be a regular ad or whether it be a boss. Nothing stands a chance against the Becca. Definitely a really good one. Now, one thing that the Becca does suffer a little bit from is the amount of ammo, but if you equip Leave No Trace, this will help you extend the magazine size. And if you want to extend the damage, you could always do the Two Fang, and that will definitely increase the damage you do per shot. Now, you'll be able to obtain the Becca by completing all the Hammerlock hunts, and this one could be obtained once per character. So if you guys haven't been able to get it, or you haven't completed the challenges of the Hammerlock, make sure you guys complete them so you guys can get yourselves a Becca. So now on to the pistols. Now for the pistols, guys, we are picking one of my favorite weapons, and that again is a Maggie. Now the Maggie is by far one of the best pistols in the game, and it's kind of interesting because this pistol was really good, then it got nerfed, then it got reinstated to being amazing. And the flak does really good with this. Not only is the Maggie very powerful, but it's also a Jacobs weapon, very similar to the same weapon we picked for the assault rifle. The Maggie is by far I would say one of the best, if not the best, weapons currently right now in the game. Now, there are some other weapons that are pretty good with the Maggie as well, that work very well with the flak, but I think the Maggie overall in general works really good when it comes to the synergy based on whatever type of class mod you have or based on whatever build you have. The Maggie will do its job. Not only is the Maggie really good for DPSing and also doing a lot of damage, but it's nice that it actually comes with a big magazine size. It's extremely powerful, and it pretty much shreds anything that comes your way, whether it be mobs, even badasses. Even sometimes you're able to take out bosses with the Maggie. I wouldn't recommend it, but for mobbing and killing badasses, this is definitely a weapon you should highly have in your arsenal. Now, this weapon synergizes very well with Leave No Trace, Second Intention, and Head Count if you're looking to what type of synergy you want to do when you're equipping the Maggie. And the Maggie is actually a really, really good weapon, guys. I highly recommend you guys pick one up if you haven't had a chance to actually get one. Now, this weapon does drop with a different variants in the name, so I would definitely look for one that has the Dastardly name on it so you guys could get the best of the best. All right, so now on to the shotguns, guys. For the shotguns, it was kind of a little bit of tricky because we had a really good amount of weapons we could pick. But we decided to go with the bang stick. Now, the bang stick, it's actually a torque weapon. And you're probably wondering, what's wrong with you? It's not a Jacobs weapon because you've been mentioning Jacobs weapon. Now, the bang stick is actually a pretty good weapon. And at face value, it kind of looks like, it's a decent weapon. But after you understand the way the weapon works, it's actually a really good weapon. Now, this weapon, what it does, it has the ability to fire stickies. Now, stickies are what makes this weapon actually shine, because if you think about it, when you throw a sticky, it throws 18 pellets. Now, the interesting part about this is that for those 18 pellets, the damage is going to be increased plus a plus 4. So a single shot can boost a damage of 72%. And if you pair this with Leave No Trace, you can stack up the damage to an insane amount of damage. That's not even including probably running Fade Away, which would even make the damage even more higher, or even doing a nice crit swap with the Unforgiven, giving you a ton of amounts of damage. Now, this weapon does come with different sets of variants, and the variants you're looking for primarily, or for the name of the weapon, is either the double penetrating or the triple penetrating one. Now, it's all going to be depending on what you're fighting, but the double penetrating by far, for me personally, is the favorite one. I find it that it does really good with almost everything. But the triple penetrating is actually pretty good for bossing, so you might want to consider that one if you're doing a lot of boss killing or farming. Now, this weapon will synergize perfectly with Leave No Trace, Head Count, and Fade Away. So make sure, guys, if you guys are putting a build together, you consider those types of skills for it within your skill tree. This weapon drops as a world drop, so make sure you guys keep your eyes wide open. Majority of the time, you're probably going to be picking up from Graveward. Now, on to SMGs. Now, we have a ton of SMGs that are really solid in the game, but I still have to say that the best SMG currently right now in the game, as far as DPS and doing damage, is the Cutsman, and that's why we're including the Cutsman here, because it synergizes well with almost every single class mod that Flak has. In addition to that, guys, it is a very powerful weapon, and what makes this weapon extremely powerful is that the projectiles extend forward and they fire at a slower rate. This allows you to hit multiple enemies at the same time with one single shot, which will increase your DPS. So this allows you to do a ton of DPS on multiple enemies. Now, if the enemy does have a small crit spot, the Magavor shines extremely well here because it's going to increase the weapon damage that you output when using the Cutsman. As far as this weapon, you're able to get this in Fire, Corrosive, and Shock. This will be dropping for you guys, and you're actually able to farm this, so if you don't know where to pick one up, definitely check out my video. And perfectly synergy with this one would be Two Fang and the Magavor. So you're putting a build together with the cut. So make sure you guys select those within your skill tree. All right, so now onto the snipers. For the snipers, guys, I'm going to suggest the one, the only, the Layuta. Yes, guys, the Layuta is by far one of the best, if not the best, sniper in the game. And for Flak, it does wonders, guys. I mean, this weapon is extremely amazing. It has a lot of really good synergy with a lot of different skill trees options within Flak. Not only that, but guys, when you shoot a weapon, it's going to split horizontally into 3, giving you extremely amount of damage. And it's just really a really good weapon. It's, like I said, by far, it's definitely one of the best, if not the best, sniper rifles currently in the game. Now, I was going to mention the sniper rifle, the Jacob's weapon, but I still think the Layuta is definitely the best sniper rifle right now. It just does a insane amount of damage. It does a ton of DPS. The fire rate is amazing, especially with Flak. So I would highly recommend this. Now, it's kind of interesting to see how this one pretty much synergizes. It comes in different variants, and it comes in every single elemental type, which makes it amazing. Now, the names you're looking for this one are the Vicious or the Annex. Those are the main ones you want to look forward to. Now, this synergizes really good, guys, with Two Fang, if you guys are looking for that for this particular skill tree. In addition to that, guys, you'll be able to pick this one up as a reward. It also is considered a world drop, but if you're trying to get one like right now, you're definitely going to be able to do this by completing Zero's bounties. He'll go ahead and reward you one, but if you're trying to farm one with a specific anointment, it's going to be dropping as a world drop. Graveward is definitely a really good place to farm if you're trying to pick one up. All right, so now on to the rockets. Now, for the rockets, guys, or the heavy, I want to there was a couple options we could go here, but due to the nerf of the ion cannon, I was going to actually suggest that one. But as of right now, I think the Quickie is the one that's really good for here, especially with the synergy you're able to put together with different aspects of the skill tree. Now, remember, rockets are not primarily a weapon you're going to be running around with Flak, but with a right build, you could actually put a very decent build where you could just never run out of ammo, because that's the biggest problem with the rockets. You're going to be running out of ammo very quickly. But you could actually synergize it really well with the Quickies. Now remember, you're going to be able to be doing a ton of DPS, and you're able to increase that DPS with the right skills. Like, for example, Two Fang can increase the number of stickies per shot you fire with the Quickie. So you want to make sure you're always constantly keeping that in mind. Also, if you do a quick swap with the Unforgiven, that the stickies are going to be even more doing more damage. So it's just a matter of the way you're going to be able to play it, but I think it fits very perfectly with this one. Now, the particular quickie you're going to be looking for is the one that says Potent Quickie. That's the one you want to get. This is part of a world drop, and this is going to synergize perfectly with Leave No Trace, Fade Away, Unblinking Eye, and Two Fang. That is how you want to use the quickie whenever you guys are putting together a skill build. Alright, so now onto the grenades. Now for the grenades, I actually thought really hard about this one, which one would be best to use with Flak. And Flak is he likes to do a lot of damage, and what better thing to actually be able to do even more damage by equipping the It's Piss. This grenade is actually really good because not only do you increase and buff the damage of the grenade, but you also increase the damage of the weapon. So I thought this grenade pairs very well with him. Now you could go with something like the Hex or something like that, but I think the It's Piss and maybe a Cryo grenade would actually pair very well, but I had to lean more to the It's Piss. Alright, so now on to the shield. Now, for the shield guy was a bit tricky as well due to the fact that, unfortunately, for my boy Flak, he does lack a little bit on the, being able to take a lot of damage. And the best one I could think about was the Recharger or the Recharger Burner. These are actually really good because what this allows you to do is that it lets you kind of double stack on the shield, because upon your shield breaking, you get your shield back immediately. So technically, if your shield's 5,000, then when that gets depleted, you're going to get another 5,000 really back. Now, the only downside with that is if you're getting shot constantly, it takes 20 seconds for the cooldowns for you to be able to get your shield back. So it gives you a bit of survivability, but as long as you're being able to play it right. So I would definitely recommend the Recharger. There are other ones that work really well for Flak, but I think this one in particular does a very good job of being able to extend your life and giving you a really good amount of boost, especially paired with the right build. Now, within the skill tree, you're definitely going to want to pick up the Eurismac Enforcer skill due to the fact that this pairs very well with the Recharger, so I highly recommend you guys pick that up when you guys are equipping this on your skill tree. Now, for the artifact was a little bit tricky picking due to the fact that there are a really good amount of artifacts that work very well with Flak, but after looking at all of them, I think I went with the Last Stand Auto Idol. I think this one pairs very well. Not only is it really beneficial that you have an option to get your health back with the idol as well, but you could actually even go with a more DPS route with the idol if you get the one that gives you more damage when you kill a badass. So there is a really good amount of artifact options to choose from. But I think the Auto Idol is by far one of the best, if not the best, artifact to pair with Flak. Now, for the last one, I wanted to leave the class mod. Now, for the class mod, it was quite interesting because I do like running a rack attack build for Flak. I think it pairs very well with him. And I wanted to pick my favorite one, but I didn't want to be biased. I actually wanted to pick something that I feel works entirely with all Flak builds, and a class mod that actually fares very well, and that's going to be the Bounty Hunter. Now, the Bounty Hunter is actually a really good class mod. What makes this really good is the fact that this synergizes with almost any build that you put together. The Most Dangerous Game and Frenzy are some of Flak's most powerful DPS skills, and being able to get even more DPS due to the fact that you have this class mod, it's going to boost their skill exponentially. Now, in hindsight, the class mod is actually pretty good, but what makes this even better is, of course, its flavor text, which is the red text, which allows Flak to have a 3% chance to activate his hunter skills when dealing gun damage. This makes this class mod even more powerful and more potent than any other class mod available right now for Flak, because this allows Flak to maintain optimal DPS when you get into mobbing situations, which would be a little bit more difficult to upkeep the Interplanetary Stalker and Second Intention. But where this class mod goes over the top is when you're actually fighting bosses, because this is going to allow you to proc Interplanetary Stalker and the Most Dangerous Game, because if you pair that with a really high firing rate weapon or a weapon that has a ton of pellets, because this allows the Bounty Hunter class mod to turn the bosses into, or to treat the bosses as beasts, robots, and humans. So this particular class mod shines very well not only with mobbing, but particularly very well when it comes to fighting bosses. Now, if you're probably wondering what is the best one I could get, you're definitely going to want to get one with a +3 to Most Dangerous Game and +2 to Frenzy, or you want to get a +2 Most Dangerous Game or a +2 Hunter Size, which is primarily going to be focusing for bosses, and the other one's mostly for mobbing and bossing if you just want to keep one together. And that is my list of the best gear you could use with Flak. Let me know if there is a category you disagree with me on, you think there's a better weapon that fits that category. Let me know in the comment section down below, but I also want to know why. Not just name the weapon, but I want to know why you think it's a better option. Leave those in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next video.